what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video we're going to Google Earth. Got a couple of areas that have been shared with me of what look like underground openings in the earth. One's kind of camouflaged and one's out in the open, both fairly good size. Going to take a look at those here in just a moment. Also have a brand new picture slideshow, new sky phenomena photos sent in from all around the world. But first, here at the website, quick look at the Schumann resonance. All in all, pretty quiet. Had a little bit of activity in the last 24 to 36 hours. That can be traced back to the sun. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera. Seeing some more activity at the caldera. A little more than usual. Nothing major. I mean, here near the lake seismo at Grant Village, you can see what look like isolated small earthquakes or strong magma intrusion, but everywhere else looks pretty normal. Again, we just don't want to come over here and see these things all dark blue. Right now, it's the new norm, steady flow of energy around the supervolcano caldera. Now, hopping over to Google Earth, this image was shared with me by Henry. It's over in like northern Nepal in Asia. We zoom into this location and you can see a square. And that square is covering up a large area that's over a mile wide on the ground. It's in a mountainous region. You can see the coordinates right here. If you'd like to come check it out for yourself, I've taken some screen images of this location and kind of worked with the images to see if I could pull forward anything. I really couldn't see anything else other than what we're seeing right here. But what's unique is obviously this big square that's covering up something. I'm going to show you a couple of images that behind this square looks like maybe a hole in the ground, a very large hole at that. And around the edges you can see purple kind of scattered for a long ways. And again, that's over a mile, actually a mile and a third, a little over a mile and a third. What's the purple? There's something going on underground right there. Here's one of the images I worked on. And again, not much more than what we're looking at here. This is simply inverted. And that's the purple. What we see green here is purple over here at Google Earth. Here's another image that I did some work on. Again, can't really see anything, but you can kind of tell there is something behind what's being blocked out here. Looks like an opening that goes underground here. Very large opening at that. Somewhere in the neighborhood of just over a mile wide. It's like 1.29 miles. Here it is again. Purple's a little darker. I don't know what that purple would be. If there's some sort of a mining operation here, those aren't necessarily anything new. We see those all over the world. So I don't know what's going on there. If you look over here to the left around the 9 o'clock position, you can see something interesting in the shadows over here. I'm going to show you what I found. It looks like possibly a volcano maybe. I don't know. Go over here into the shadow, and there is what's in that shadow in the darkness. I brought it forward and you can see what looks like maybe an indentation, like a caldera at the top of a smaller volcano over here. And once again, that is in this dark area right here. Not saying it's even related to what's going on here, but it is kind of unusual to see an area, especially over a mile wide, blocked out like that, like there's something going on underground. Now I'm going to take you guys to another what looks like a vent to me that goes into the earth, and it's down here in Antarctica. To me, that is a vent. That is not a pond or a large lake. This is over 150 feet wide. That looks like a vent, some sort of a thermal vent possibly that goes underground. You can tell right here the snow is much darker than any of the snow in the surrounding area. That would imply, at least to me, that there's a heat transfer going on. There's some sort of heat coming out of the ground. And also this top part here, to me, looks like it's made of some sort of a metal or metal alloy. Here it is, slightly enhanced, same area. And see what I mean? Some would argue that that's nothing more than a large pond. And what's this over here? Right underneath my mouse. Is that to me, that looks like darkness of what goes underground inside this large cavern. This here looks like a man-made structure to me. Lakes don't look like that. This is like some sort of a support bar. That's the way I look at it. That looks like a helmet almost, like some sort of a dome. And again, the snow here is very dirty and dark, and that would indicate a heat transfer, like the heat is melting the snow. And you know how snow gets in the wintertime when you have a warm spell, the snow kind of melts and it gets dirty. Well, that's kind of what that reminds me of right there. But again, I'm just analyzing this from Google Earth. 1,000 feet in the air is about as close as I can get before it gets too pixelated. To me, that looks like some sort of a dome over an opening that goes in the ground down in Antarctica, and you can find that area here at these coordinates. And there's no obvious volcano here either. That's the thing. This is kind of out here by itself. There's no nearby volcanoes that would imply some sort of, you know, volcanic activity here. That's just kind of there all by itself. This location was shared with me by Roxanne. Great observations, guys. Sure do appreciate that. Here's a brand new picture slideshow I put together. New high-octane photos from all around the world. Miranda out of Portage, Indiana. This photo here is unedited. That's exactly the way the sky appeared on that day. Kind of like this one here out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Video sent in by Kathy B. And it was almost like she was looking at the same sky. Pretty much the same color. Here's a photograph of that same day when the sky was a little more orange and light gold. That is unedited, by the way. James M. out of Ontario. Spectacular rainbow and some awesome lightning. Get a load of that. There's a very large lightning bolt making contact with the ground up in Ontario. Javier out of California. Beautiful sunset there. Looks like Jupiter in the sky. Frank out of Spruce Grove, Alberta, said he looked up and noticed this square before he noticed anything at the end of whatever that is. And then you've got color here, some greens and red, light red and yellow, got purple here. But he was very drawn to that square. He couldn't quite make sense of why there was a square up in the sky. Good question. Ivana out of Croatia. Got some very colorful clouds up in the proximity of the sun. Spectacular sky out of Celsi, Croatia. This photo here, too, is also sent by Ivana out of Croatia. More colorful clouds up in the proximity of the sun. Here we've got some lenticular clouds above the mountains off in the distance. Greg D. out of Toronto. So that looked like a tree up in the sky. And in this format, it certainly does. Those clouds look like tree branches. Faye and Lee out of Tennessee. Big, giant, jumbo halo around the sun in the skies above Tennessee. Mount Hood, Oregon. Photo sent in by Flashback. There's Mount Hood right there in front of some fiery orange skies at sunset. Absolutely spectacular. And then later on, they turned kind of a light purple and pink. Justice out of Tampa, Florida. Awesome sunset photo reflecting off of the Gulf of Mexico. There the sun is diving down below the horizon. Lori out of Beaver Creek, Oregon, said this looked like something falling from the sky. That didn't look like an airplane to her. That's what compelled her to take the photograph. Lydia out of Indio, California. More fiery orange skies at sunset. That one there resembles a giant triangle up in the sky. Casey out of Stafford, Virginia. Once again, more orange skies at sunset. About as orange as you could get. Parker, Colorado, Debbie, and I want you to pay attention to this area right here. That's what compelled her to take this photograph of what looks like a perfect number 7 up in the sky. Right there and right there. And it does indeed favor a number 7. Exactly. Great observation by Debbie. Mary Hall. Notice this out of Willis, Texas. A sky full of roll clouds. Crystal K. Not exactly sure of the location. Got a couple of arcs up in the sky, like rainbows touching each other. Bryson also noticed the same thing out of Manitoba, Canada. Eye in the Sky by Quincy. See the eye right here? That's what drew him to take the photo of the sky, like this one here from the International Space Station. Once again by Mary Hall, who noticed this cloud configuration from the International Space Station that looked like an eye down below, high in the atmosphere, above planet Earth. Chris C. out of Indiana. Yet another jumbo halo around the sun. More fiery orange skies, this time out of Michigan by Cindy P. Another big halo, this time around the moon by Bert W. out of Bristol, Tennessee. That is a spectacular photo. Great job, guys. Keep the photos coming. If you have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at Mr MBB333.com. All of the photos end up here at the Sky Phenomena Photo Gallery at the website, and sometimes I'll use them in a video slideshow, just like you saw right here. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.